Except this interface, this switch one is going to broadcast whatever we are receiving in all the interfaces. Here, active interface is the only one interface. We don't have the cable in other interface. So when it return, it is coming to here. The switch to feel that the BPD packet which I advertised from the ETH00, same BPD packet I'm receiving onto ETH01. It's a loop. That how actually that core level of L2 technology works. There is a very simple concept. When I'm going to advertise my BPTU packet, make sure that my advertised BPTU or my BPTU, I should not receive in any other interface. If it is receiving, it's a loop. If examiner or that interviewer saying that you cannot use the ether channel, you cannot manually shut down the port, there is a other mechanism. We are going to use that BPTU guard or the BPTU filter.
So quick question. So if you run ether channel, is it
Yeah.
going to stop the loop or it will
No,
still go?
it is avoiding the loop.
Okay.
Because ether channel going to itself, it is going to work on a protocol. So ether channel protocol which we are going to use as a LACP or PAGP. PAGP is the Cisco proprietary. We are not going to discuss too much, but when you are going to talk about that, except that manual port channel status, we have a on and off. Manually, we are going to go into the interface, we are going to bundling, and we are not going to use any dynamic protocol. When we are going to use that, except the manual port channel, when we are going to use that any dynamic protocol, LACP, that state we have active and passive, or when we are going to use that PAGP, that state we have a dynamic and auto. If you are going to use a port channel, you have to use a dynamic protocol. Even though you are not going to use the dynamic port, when a moment that port is going to bundle, there is no role of the STP is playing. Simple, the packet will go from the one link and it will come from the other same link. Reason, that port channel itself is using the algorithm, hash algorithm, that depend upon your source IP, destination IP, source port, destination port, source MAC. How you're going to do the load balancing, you can do that. But port channel itself is doing the hashing of the packet. So a packet which is going to come from that this link, it it has a session, and this switch comes to know that from where I receive this packet, same packet is going to return. It is going to return from the same link. While you're initiating the traffic, it will take any one of the link while initiating the traffic. When you're expecting the return packet has to come from the same part because it's going to match the hashing. When this switch is going to initiate the packet, it will take any one of the link because it's a phrase. It is going to initialize that, right? It is going to initiation the packet. So it will take any one of the path. But return packet, who's going to match the hashing, it will come through the same link. So I'm not going to talk about that more about the port channel here. When it will come, I will take you in the deep dive. We are focusing here. So this is that BPT guard. When you are going to use this interface and you are going to enable the BPT guard, any BPT packet is going to come from it is going to drop it. Right? Any BPT packet is going to come, it is going to drop it. So you have only one link open. Any BPT packet, it is going to drop it. So BPT guard and BPT filter are having a difference. When any packet is going to receive into that interface where I'm going to enable the BPT guard, that interface will go into the error disable mode. Where it will go? It will go error disable mode.
Sam,
If
a
you're,
quick question.
yeah,
Like you mentioned, the BPT guard, will it be for the whole switch or will it be based on a port?
it is depend upon your requirement. It is going to the global mode also, it is going to interface mode also. So here
So
you can
the
enable,
okay.
Either you can enable the global mode. Why we are going to use the global mode? Because this port we required, right? i'm a
Yes.
I'm a tech engineer. I'm a very senior network engineer. I'm looking for that CCA lab exam. I'm a not a stupid guy, right? Why I will enable the global mode where it is going to enable in 00 and 01? Then then where is the loop avoidance mechanism is going to work? Nothing is going to work. I'm going to specific to the interface mode config t interface eth 0/1, then spanning tree guard bp2 or bp2 guard bp2. So I'm going to use the interface mode so that I'm going to enable only for this interface. Reason is that I need to open the path for one link. Yes or no?
Yeah, right.
So guys, this thing I draw is perspective of you have a deep level of understanding, which sometime you are going to go get a question into your interview panel. Sometime you are going to get a question. Basically, this troubleshoot it belongs to your tag. When you are going to support the tag Juniper tag or the Cisco tag into L2 level, then generally it is going to happen. Normal overall technology, which I supposed to discuss with you guys, that is here.
Hello.
Yeah, Santosh.
Yeah. So
Miss-
I face one issue. From access switch port is directly connected to the firewall. So
Mhm.
in that port, access switch port, we configured the BPDU card.
Mhm.
So it's went to the error disable mentioning that a BPDU card. Okay, what could be the reason?
How your question is based, I don't know.
No, basically switch port is connected to the firewall
Baba,
interface.
I got your point. You think that your question is valid. You are saying that you have that firewall, right? Any vendor
Yeah.
firewall. I
Hmm.
worked at a lot of the firewall.
Hmm.
ASA, FortiGate, right? Checkpoint, right? You have a Palo Alto. Any firewall you have. Do you think that BPD known to them? They can recognize the BPD? Never. Throughout the world, except the switch, nobody knows the BPD. If I have a firewall and it is connected to the any switch, there is no concept of the BPD. Where is the BPD? Where is the BPD? Tell me.
Yeah, that is my questions. Okay, so
It is nothing going to recognize. We don't have any concept of the BPD when you have any third party device which is going to connect to the switch. So now you can remove the concept from the here BPD. I don't know the BPD. Switch doesn't know the BPD right now. I have access switch. I have a port Ethernet 00. Simple. I will go there and I will configure that one. I will go to the config T. Interface ETH 0/0 switch port mode access. Switch port access 10 20 whatever X. Done. My job is done. Here directly L2 frame will go. If they are the part of the same broadcast domain, if they are the part of the same broadcast domain, they are going to communicate over the MAC. The switch is going to learn the MAC of this Palo Alto or ASA firewall. They cannot recognize that IP. Yes, if you have a L3 switch, when you are going to run the command of show IP ARP, it will give you the MAC plus IP both. So make sure that you are very intelligent engineer. You should know that where I want to use what. I have a switch. I connected to that firewall. If it is L3 switch, I'm going to deal with that MAC plus IP. So IP ARP. If it is a pure L2 switch, I'm going to deal for the MAC address table. I'm going to learn the MAC. Obviously, in the same broadcast domain, we require only MAC. We doesn't require any kind of IP and all. Even though you have the router here, obviously it is L3 connectivity. Both are going to talk over the IP. Yes or no? If I have a router here, both is going to talk over the IP. Router doesn't know about the MAC and all. Yes or no?
yes, correct.
BUT. I'm expecting you are very intelligent. You consider that you are a CCI guy, not a CCNP guy, while taking from coaching from me. You assume that you are very brilliant, you know everything. Little bit gap you have, which I'm going to fill it right now. Okay, guys, that was the Santosh question. I'm going to remove from here. Switch 1, switch 2, switch 3. Guys, every section we have a practical. No need to worry about that. Without doing the practical, we are not moving for the second section. So this week and the next week, we have a planning for the switching. And switching in each and every technology, I will walk you through. When we are going to design the lab, in the lab, you are going to get all the things. Okay. And I will prepare you such like that. In your own setup, you can do everything. You are in a such position where you can do your lab by yourself. You can design it, configure it. If something required for the configuration, I'm going to help you out. I'm always here. So if you are saying that, "Okay, sir, give me the running configuration and all, where in the same lab I need to do the practice, I will give you. No problem. But you have to set up your lab where you can do more lab practice. If you want to access from the networking, you can do that, but that having a very limited access. So I'm saying that if you are a CCNP guy, if you are a CCI guy, I request you guys, at least if you have a 16 GB RAM also, at least you can install the GNS. Just routing and switching box, just like me, as a beginner. Look at here. As a beginner, I install. Nothing, I have a much more devices here. Even though I have a 750 images license version. But I only used whatever I required. When my POC is done, I'm going to remove that one. Right? Being a 15 years into the industry, I have supported the Cisco tag for 3 years, Juniper tag for 2 years, right? FortiGate tag for the 2 year, right? So even though I'm thinking I'm a beginner, I'm a dual CCI, data center and security. So don't think so you know much more than anybody. Always down to the earth. Don't think so you know much more than anybody into the world. That is overconfidence. Network is an ocean. Still people will learn. Whole life is very short. You cannot learn whole the thing. Always there is a lacking. So now coming before starting this one, guys, I'm not going to waste my time. Before starting this one, I would like to give something which I think so you required. Guys, how it looks like? You can study. You can see that AA, right? Mac start with AA or not?
Yes, yes.
So if you're not able to see the Santosh, you can ask me everybody. I'm asking you because your concept I want to be very very clear and very solid. There should be not any gap over there. So now it is a, it is a BB, it is a CC. This is, we are going to create a one. You can see that it is a full mesh. It is not the full mesh. Every switch is going to connect to each other, right? It is a full mesh, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
It is connected to the switch. This is connected to the two switch. This is connected. It is a full mesh, right? A full mesh always is having a loop. Always. Until unless You are not going to trick that topology. You are not going to trick that environment. Always it having a loop, right? So now I'm going to log in here. Only for the sake of you guys, I'm doing this one. Otherwise, it's not required right now. But only for you guys, I'm going to do log in here. I'm going to change the host name and I'm going to give that name of CCNP CCIE switch 1. You need to give the host name. Where is the host name? CCIE CCNP. Right? So I have only one switch. So guys, into the GNS, when I'm going to click onto the device and right click on that, I'm going to change the host name. It is the host name, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
What is saying, guys, here? Space is not allowed. Okay. Now, if when a moment I'm going to run that so VLAN brief, what we can see it here by looking at this picture? Anybody? What
All ports
exactly?
are in VLAN
Yeah.
It
default.
says ports are in all the ports are VLAN 1.
Only defaults VLANs we are able to see.
Yeah. Anything else? This
Yeah, well,
active status is whose status? Is VLAN status or is the port status?
hi Sam, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Okay.
I can hear you. Vinit, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So if you can see that, this is the VLAN 1. It is a default VLAN. It is in active state. And this is not the port status, right? This port by default is the part of the VLAN 1, right? And guys, what is this? 1002, 1003, 1004, and 1005?
Unusable VLANs.
Sorry, I didn't get you.
It's unusable VLAN, so you cannot use them.
Yeah. So basically, it is a reserved, right?
Hmm.
And in the token topology, in star and full mesh, this topology you should know that, right? Token and the ring topology, FDDI. So this VLAN is we have a reserve and we cannot use it, right? Can anybody tell me what is my native VLAN here?
VLAN 1.
One.
Yeah, how you are going to check that?
Show VLAN native.
What command we are going to run?
Show VLAN.
Native,
Yeah.
where it is not taking, no?
Oh, show VLAN trunk, and you can show trunk, and it'll tell you.
So
Show interface trunk.
Show interface trunk.
nothing we have.
Hmm.
Tell me, guys, what I can judge here? We know that it's a we don't have any other VLAN. We don't have any other VLAN. This VLAN is reserved. I have only one VLAN. So it is a default VLAN as well as it is a native VLAN also, because in the native VLAN we have the all the port assigned to him. We know very well, right? So if I'm going to put any interface as a trunk, then I can see it, which is my native VLAN.
One is a native VLAN.
Yeah, Santosh, my question is that right now I have only one VLAN, right?
Yes.
We know very well it is a default VLAN. Done.
Yeah. Yeah.
As we don't have any one other VLAN except that one, so obviously it is a native VLAN,
Right.
because
Yes.
these all ports are native to this VLAN, right? It is my hometown. These all the ports having a hometown of this VLAN. So that's why for all these port, who is native? One is native. Yes or no?
Yes.
So now if I'm going to configure any switch port as a trunk, can it will show me the native VLAN as a one? Yes or no?
Yes.
No.
Or it is not possible without changing that native VLAN and all. Guys, speak up. I'm just checking your knowledge and all. That's all.
Can you repeat the question one more?
I'm asking that I don't have right now any VLAN here, right?
Okay. What
Except
is the
I have the
default?
only one VLAN. So as per the theory, we comes to know that it is a default VLAN. Done.
Yeah.
As we don't have any other VLAN, it is a native VLAN also. Because all my default port by default is the part of my default VLAN. As we don't have any other VLAN except that one, because it is all reserved. It should not be the part of that my native VLAN, right?
Yeah.
So I in a theory, I comes to know that VLAN one is my native VLAN. It is 100% sure. I'm damn sure on that. My native VLAN is the VLAN one. How we are going to check it?
Okay. See, once particular interface is become the trunk, then we can able to check with the show interface trunk. In that, we can clarify what is the native VLAN. Switchboard trunk encapsulation.
Trunk encapsulation. Yep.
So native villain is 1.
So concept is that until unless you are not going to configure the trunk, you cannot see the VLAN, native VLAN, right?
Yes.
Can you change the native VLAN as per your requirement?
Yes,
We
we
can.
can.
Okay. So the VLAN which you want to change, it should be pre-configured, or it is not required to configure?
Villain has to configure.
Why? When you are going to running the command into that particular VLAN, it is not going to create the VLAN as well as it is going to change the VLAN. It is not possible.
Yeah, it's possible. Whenever we create if it is not villain not present, if you create it, it will automatically create the villain.
Okay. So now, anybody can make me understand in the port ETH00, VLAN allowed and the active in the management domain. So they are saying that you are going to allow only one VLAN. But when we run the command switch port mode trunk, by default, it is going to allow all the VLAN, right?
Yeah.
This
So
command,
in this instance, there is only one VLAN created. So if you create like multiple, it will show like that VLAN is allowed.
Mhm. Make sense, guys?
Yeah.
Any doubt you have? Anybody having a doubt here? Now, the major question which I wanted to ask here, let's assume that I'm going to
Uh, Sam, big question. Like the VLANs allowed and active in management domain.
hmm,
That means like all the VLANs are being tagged to that port 0/0, right?
yes. It is a
Okay.
trunk port. When it is that this VLAN is going to pass, it has to be
Okay.
tagged.
Yeah, I got the idea. But here, like it's tagged, right? With the explanation we made, like the particular term means that it's been tagged, right?
Yes, it is a
Okay.
tagged.
Okay.
Management domain means your opposite switch can see that when it is coming from this switch, that it is dot one q 10, 20, and 30. It is going to tagged.
Yeah.
Done, guys. So now I have. I don't have any ARP table, right? I don't have any ARP table, right?
Yes.
Now, Yeah, guys, why I'm not learning this one?
No, is that particular system is getting IP address? No, no, right? Because it is saying the duplicate IP address, so it's not taken the IP address.
Okay. Is saying that checking the duplicate IP address, there is no
Okay,
found of the duplicate IP address. That's
right.
why I'm going to assign this IP address to the PC. It is not diverting your knowledge, right? Checking the duplicate IP for this
Ah,
address which you are going to assign, it found that there is no duplicate IP address. Now it is assigning to the PC.
Yeah, so maybe you need to ping, like send a ping, right, to learn the MAC address to get an app entry.
Okay. So what I need to ping from here?
Like the switch, let's say I don't know, does it have like a gateway on the switch? Oh,
Nothing we have. It is a pure L2 switch. If I'm not going to get a ARP as well, I'm going to get the MAC as well as, right?
yeah.
yes.
I don't have any MAC, buddy. What is the reason?
We have to assign that port into the particular VLAN, right?
Why? I have the native VLAN. I didn't create any port. I have the VLAN 10, 20, 30. As other ports are not assigned to different VLAN, my default, all the ports are part of the native VLAN one. Yes or no?
Yes.
Still, why I'm not learning the MAC?
You're gonna have to send some packet to the switch.
It is a pure L2. What packet I need to send? Do you want that I need to send a L3 packet or L2 frame?
I mean, you can give the any of the VLAN just interface and assign IP on the VLAN interface so we can ping it.
Okay. So without that, we are not going to learn the MAC, right? You mean to say that? Guys, if please don't write into the chat. If you have, na, you can speak up just for 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Sir, ping one of the other PC. I don't have any PC. Why I will ping to the other PC? You tell me.
So basically ARP is address resolution protocol. So if your particular system IP address is assigned, then only we will get the ARP in the switch. But if for this to forwarding, we require a LTI also, right?
I'm not looking for the ARP. I'm looking for the MAC. I will not able to learn the MAC. Where you are, man? I'm not understanding what concept you are using here. IP plus ARP is that resolution of the MAC. When we don't know that, when we know the IP, we don't know the MAC, then it is going to resolve it, right? It is going to aux. Okay, man, this IP belongs to you. What is your MAC? I will go to the MAC, right? In a layer technology, do you think that there is a role of any IP and all?
No.
I want that you guys are very, 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 very knowledgeable.
Can we send a broadcast packet from the PC? Broadcast frame from the PC.
Also, just make sure interface is not shut down.
It is not done. Where is the shutdown? It is connected to there, right? It is 00.
Yes.
Look at here. I'm in the ETH00. thought that you guys are very brilliant and you have very good skill set. This interface is the part of trunk. You have a single interface where you have a single node connected.
Yes, access port.
Mm. When I'm pointing, then your brain is start working. I'm going to remove the cable body. Huh? Now is this possible?
Yes.
Nothing. Then anybody? Kiran? Anybody? Fred? What do you need to do?
Access VLAN.
Hmm.
In that particular interface, you take an Ethernet one, right? 0-1.
So my whole configuration is wrong still, right? If I'm going to run single command, it is going to take. If I'm just making that access interface, I'm not assigning to the any VLAN because we know very well ETH0/1 is the part of the native VLAN. Yes or no? And 00 is the part of the trunk. I'm going to remove that one and I'm going to moving toward the right interface. Will it possible right now? Just I'm making the access interface.
No, you still have to assign it to particular VLAN.
So now you tell me which VLAN I need to assign.
VLAN 10.
Go to the interface.
Tell me, guys.
VLAN 10, we can ask.
10.
Yeah.
Okay. Then what is happening, guys?
You can make it as a switch port also in that port.
You can send a broadcast packet from the PC to the switch.
Not learning. What is the issue?
We can check show VLAN brief and in interface. But
You check now. Tell me, do so. VLAN
brief.
done. I have the VLAN 10 active, and here we have a 0/1, right?
Yeah.
What other interfaces are in VLAN 1?
VLAN 1, you have all these interfaces.
through access for only VLAN 10 data will pass now.
Hmm. So whatever the VLAN you are going to assign to the switch, what is the relation with this node? This node doesn't know anything, no? It is the end node. I have ETH 01, 0/1, right? You assign to the VLAN 10. From this interface, I'm learning the MAC. I should learn the MAC of the PC, right? Of ETH 00 interface, yes or no? Because this PC having only one NIC, ETH 0. And in this NIC port, I have assigned 192.168.1.1. So now you guys tell me issue with your configuration, or you have a misconcept on that? What is that?
Yeah, at least you should learn the MAC address though, because if it doesn't need the IP to learn it, but
Yeah. So why we are not learning? It is an issue with my concept, this configuration, whatever you told, I have put it there, right?
Can you check whether the
can you
you
check the interface?
PC has the Mac,
If this virtual PC doesn't have a Mac,
I mean to say some uh, some in virtual platforms by default Macs won't be added, right? We need to manually.
okay. So here, if I'm going to add any other node, then it is going to learn the Mac. You mean to say that,
No, no,
right?
no, not like that. I just meant some virtual VPCs will won't get MAC address in it. Actually, we need to manually configure it, right? In a PC,
Correct.
actually, I'm saying.
Correct. So now
Yeah.
you are into the right path, and we are going to assign one quickly. Done, sir? Guys, it's too late for me. We will start tomorrow from here, okay? This is the last thing we are going to do right now. So now I have connected that from ETH 0/2, right? My router is on. I'm going to get the console. Where is my console? Console is here. Right? So which interface is connected here? Pass 00, right? It is admin down. Done. Yes or no?
Yes.
I'm making you large. Pass 00 having unassigned IP, and it is having a administrator down, right? So router having a MAC, yes or no? So IP interface brief I'm going to talk about. So done, sir. Right? It is up. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
So now if I'm going to do that, do so interface it having a MAC.
Yes.
Now you tell me,
Yes.
will it
Yes.
require to assign the IP to get the MAC onto the switch?
No.
No.
Done.
Yes. Yeah. Got it.
So now the concept is that nobody is concentrating here. It is a virtual PC. Virtual PC doesn't have a Mac. It is going to work. If you look at here, it doesn't have a Mac. So anywhere when you have a deep level of troubleshoot and people are keep asking you, I'm not learning the Mac here. Make sure that you are not concentrating on the switch configuration, whether it is access mode or not. By default, switch port is access mode. When you are going to purchase a Cisco device into the market, it is not a raw port. It is start learning the BBT packet. When it is going to connect with that switch to switch. So it is not mandatory you are going to make a access port, then it is going to learn the Mac. It is not required that, right? Second thing is that if your switch is up and running and neighbor device is directly connected to any one of the port, and this port is the part of any VLAN. Initially, when we not configure any VLAN here, so by default is the part of the VLAN 1, yes or no, right? After that, we take out from the ETH00, we are making as a trunk. But initially, when it is going to connect to the ETH0/1, when I'm not assigned to the VLAN 10, it should be the part VLAN 1 or not. And thus that switch port is the not raw port. You start learning the BBT packet, you start learning the MAC. So it is an access port by default. Are you getting my point? Yes or no? So in a huge environment, in a production environment, when you are going to see that even though you are not configured the port, by default it is a part of the native VLAN 1 or any native VLAN which you configured onto the trunk port. Now your VLAN 10 is the part of the native VLAN. Inside the VLAN 10, this port is by default is coming because your native VLAN is going to change. So your all by default port all will go to that native VLAN 10. Even though you're not configuring, if you're not learning the MAC, it won't require any IP and all. When a moment you are going to configure the IP, then it is going to give you that ARP table. What it will give you? It will give you the ARP table. What is the class BIP? Can anybody tell me? 172. What is the class BIP range, guys?
172 16 dot.
I want the second octet only. 16 to the 31. 16 to that 31. 16 to that 31. And I'm going to do the summarization. No set already there. No need to run extra command. Right? Now you go to the switch, you check the table. Where is the ARP, man? Why we are not doing the ARP? Why we are not learning the ARP?
Shut down.
Where is shutdown?
Hmm.
00 connected to that ETH0/2.
Right.
And it is a L2 L3 switch. It is having the both the behavior.
Hmm.
So here we don't have any IP. But while learning the ARP, it could learn the ARP, yes or no? ETH01 and 02 both are the part of the same VLAN or different VLAN? Different VLAN, right?
Different VLAN.
Okay. Done? Happy? Happy or not?
Once we get asked, then only.
Why it is not pinging, sir? Hmm? Anybody? Why it is not? Both are the part of the same VLAN, right?
IP
What?
segment is different, na?
Why? It is a class C IP have given that. 1.2 I have given here. Dot 1 we have given here.
No,
Look at
IPs
here
are
now. 192.168.1.1/24.
Sam, just wanted to know, like, switch, are you using the IP for that switch, or like, was it for?
My intention is that switch why not learning the ARP. So fixing that issue, I have done that. My fast FF00, which is going to connect to the switch 00, I'm keeping the same broadcast domain. So it 0001 is the part of the VLAN 10, and
Okay.
they are the part of the same broadcast domain. But still, they are not able to ping each other. Why? It's learning on Mac.
So this R1 interface, R1 router interface is with IP address of 192.168.1.2, right?
That's what I'm saying, you know. See, my brain is here only. I know that it is the part of the same broadcast. I mean, you can see it here. No? It's a very childish thing, right? People who going to school, nursery about nursery, they can see that it is a class CIP, right? 192.1.1.2, it is slash 24. You look at the PC, it is also slash 24. Yes or no?
Yes.
Why not pinging then?
Sam, can you just brief of VLAN 10 in switch?
The interface connected to the router, is it access port or transport? Which port you are?
Seen man. All in front of you, you are all intelligent guy. Now you are my mentor. Whatever you want, whatever you are telling, I'm doing the same thing. It is a VLAN 10, and keep remember that still we are in a CCNA. We still not step into the CCNP. So this part is clear, right? I configure as per your convenient. So VLAN 10 was there. I configured the two interfaces, one connected to my PC, another connected to the router. Yes or no, sir?
Sam, I believe. I think here for the from switch to PC, it should be untagged. It should not be tagged, right? Is it because of it? Since PC won't take the tagged VLANs, since there will be no connection between the network.
No. So switch when any packet going to pass through that access port, it is going to untagged, right? So here there is no concept of the tagging and all. It is access port. It is access port. We already removed the concept of the trunk port. Trunk port is the ETH 00. So whenever that packet is flowing from the switch, it is untagged. And if it is
Okay.
going from here, then it is going to tag to your access port. So when the
Okay.
packet is coming to the switch, then it is going to tag to the VLAN 10. And looking for that in the same VLAN, we need to broadcast or not, right?
Yes.
So
From ETH2 to ETH1, it should be at
guys, we are running out of the time. I'm going to start from there. Okay, tomorrow I will start from here. This is your part. I'm going to save that one, and I will start from here tomorrow. Okay, we will discuss more on that. So we are going to close the session today, and we will meet tomorrow on time. Okay, and I'm request you guys please on the time, so that we have a better session. Okay, so I'm going to save that lab, and I will start from there from tomorrow. Okay, then we will discuss a lot about that port fast, right? Loop guard, root guard. So which is that actually you have a CCNP level of thing. Okay, so have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow. Okay, and don't miss the
thank you.
class. Yeah, time same 9 o'clock, and don't miss the class. Otherwise, it's very difficult to pick it up.
No,
Very
no.
difficult.
Yeah, no, what happened, right? So for login, that path is there, na, that URL, so difficult to find it. So got delay in joining.
No problem. I will share you.
Yeah,
So
okay.
Like,
there,
is it okay? Like, can we create a WhatsApp group with all the people so that
I will ask to Utkarsh. That's why my planning is that people who are already enrolled to the networking, I want that they should be into that same
Yes,
group.
yes, fine, fine.
Okay, and people who are not enrolled, they just join the class for the demo purpose, and they left that. We no need to worry about that. But people already paid to the network scheme, they are all the paid candidate. For that, I will ask to the, because they are going to create a group. And you trust on my word, from here when you complete your course and when you are going to get out from here, or when you are leaving this class, nobody can touch you in technically. That much of foundation I will give you. You can compete yourself with attack. Reason thing is that how much you keep you in a memory, how much you are keeping in practice, that depend upon you. But it is a challenge. Nobody can touch you. Okay, guys. So see
Okay,
you
sir.
tomorrow on time.
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
thank
thanks,
you,
sir.
thank
Thank
you,
you,
sir.
sir. Thank you.
Most welcome.
Very well.